Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of kids here this. I think our guys have embraced our values, trying to. We got a long way to go, I think, with understanding some of the subtle things of how to be demanding on yourself or have high expectations and continuing to try to gain momentum in those regards. But I mean, they were all here this summer. That's a voluntary time, but they made the commitment to be here. A bunch of guys in summer school. We've lost. So we're leaned up. We look to be in good shape. I see a lot of positive deals. Now we've had one practice in. It's a helmet-only practice. For a first go, it looks pretty good, but there's a long way and a lot of water to go across the dam before we play. So, but I like the attitude. Well, hopefully we can keep building. And it should be better as we go, and that'll be tough because as you get going into two-a-days, you kind of hit that little wall, hit that little grind. So, it'd be nice to see the energy and the attitude day 10, 11, 12 as we go. That'd be great to see down the road here. Don't have a timeline, don't have a timetable. Did throw Trey Roberson, the freshman, in the mix yesterday, and for a young guy, he handled it. He's got a nice little presence, communicates well, can do some things. There's kind of 5 guys going through it. We kind of split practice enough where sometimes there's kind of 2 practices, so for every drill we're doing it twice. And so like we're trying to get as many reps as we can to increase that. But again, just day 1, and the way we do things, we'll probably go through the first week before we really, as the staff, discuss where do you think they are. We didn't even talk about it yesterday. We just kind of practiced. And this morning we had some pictures and just watched it with them. And I don't anticipate having a daily update on all that. I couldn't even tell you the completion percentage, but I thought they all, from what I saw, and of course we're little spread thing, going 2 drills at a time. I think they're all carrying themselves well. Kind of pleased where it is, but we'll see. We're going to go. Maybe after this weekend we'll talk about the staff, and because there is a time where we probably need as coaches to pare it down for reps. But coming out of summer, in fairness to all the players, we did throw the freshmen in the mix. There's 5 guys going at it now. I think as we get into two-a-days, which starts Saturday, we'll probably start to have a little bit more of a direction on where we're going. If you can, but maybe you can't, I've always, there's all the, well, if you don't have, if you have 2 quarterbacks, that means you don't have one. It's an old saying. I don't know if that means anything. I hear people say that, but sometimes you have 2 good ones, or sometimes you have guys that can bring different strengths to the table, ability to, do different things with their ability to run or throw and their styles. So the hard thing about 2 quarterbacks, if they're not similar, is that for the other second-team players, you don't need 2 different styles of offense. I have seen some teams where it was such a run-oriented quarterback with one quarterback and throw-oriented with the other. It's like one team's practicing pass blocking and routes, and the other second team, or vice versa, is practicing all the run games. So if you're a second-team receiver or a second-team guard, who are you matched up with, and what if the game doesn't work that way? So I think the deal, if you have more than 2 quarterbacks, you try to philosophically, as an offense, stay similar. So we'll see where it goes, and I'm not averse to playing 2. I just don't want to feel like a guy's looking over his shoulder every time he messes up. He's playing on eggshells. So that's my deal. I don't want to, feel like if as soon as I have one bad game or one bad practice, somebody's taking my spot. If we have 2 guys, either that means maybe someone hadn't separated, or we think both are bringing something to the table. If it gets to 1, it gets to 1. And I think, again, seriously, I think you guys have thought about it much more than me personally, that as we practice a little bit, come the weekend, we'll start seeing. I do think there's a time where we go from 4 or 5 with reps into 2 or 3, just so that the first and second guys are getting the bulk of the work for rhythm and timing and time on task. Oh, they're all kind of ugly. Not many of them handsome like me. But no, that wasn't a joke. That was serious, you guys. I don't know. We're leaner. I still think. I say leaner. We've ran a little bit more, so I don't think we're quite as heavy. I don't know if that's good or bad. I think we still need to gain strength. I think strength is harder to gain. Takes more time. And I'm not talking. You think of offensive linemen, but you can be strong as a defensive back, playing challenging coverage and getting your hands on guys, and receivers where you're getting physical and you got the strength to get up the field and not get pushed out and get so wide. and stuff. So, I mean, we're leaner across the board. I don't think we have a bunch of sloppy kids right now. You know, the receiver position's pretty good, and a couple of those freshman kids come in the mix, and they're as good as some of those guys playing. So I think that position's picked up. A couple of those young linebackers look good. A couple of the young secondary players look good. The freshman class hadn't done much yet and hadn't hit anybody, but that's a good-looking crowd. It's going to complement them. So I think the freshman group as a whole is going to complement a lot of those classes. So I think and not because we recruited them, most of them were committed before we got here. But I think it's a very, very good freshman class. Has a chance to be. Now, we've yet to hit. We'll see if those guys can strike somebody. We need to, one, a little bit more consistency. You know, Ted Bolger catches some balls and has a big playability, but his ability to concentrate and push himself and be a great player is a long way off right now. He's got more talent than his habits are right now, because he could be an upper level player, and he's pretty good because he's got really good talent. He could be really good if he had the focus and drive that we're trying to reach out and dig at and pull out of him. I think you're going to see something. I think Charles Love is coming on very fast. A smaller guy, but a guy we can move around that can run in the 4.5s, a 225-pound kid that you can play in the backfield or move him around, kind of like him. We've actually looking at a couple linebackers, in particular DJ Watson's kind of playing from linebacker to a little fullback for us now. And so I'd like to see a group with Max Deb and those guys. We can get them on the field, get them moving around. We didn't sign one, so it's the bulk of the guys that were playing last year. It needs to have a better presence on the field, so we'll see. They were gassed yesterday. They did more than they're used to doing. So hopefully we can use it. That was a good group. That group probably looked a lot better when you say what groups stuck out. The addition of Stephen Houston was a nice addition without pads and D'Angelo, but we had Darius Willis was practicing yesterday looking fast. Nick Turner looked really good. And of course, I think the spring he had a lot of work. He's got a lot of self-confidence. He's worked hard. He's fast. Really like Nick. Finally got a chance to see Darius look good. Again, we didn't have on pads. Antonio Banks coming back. All those guys were going. Xavier Whitaker. And the two new guys look like they can get in the mix and play. So we'll have 3 or 4. And I don't know, again, like quarterback, I think you do need more than one running back. I think you need a couple, 3, because they're going to wear out and take some hits. But it was, I don't know if we got 7 guys that are going to jog out there and be starters, but I think we can find 2 or 3 that we can play with and we're going to need. You can ask those guys when they come up with Doug and Mike, but I would typically, if you're getting in spread sets, it's a safety coming in instead of a backer to get more speed on the field. And sometimes you can even get 2 safeties up there, but you still don't really change the structure. They will teach a hybrid nickel safety to become basically to understand that linebacker role, and then it's just matchups. And when you're playing teams that spread it out, you got a smaller body. When you got playing the bigger teams, you got a linebacker bigger body. Well, Lionel Himes was a guy, and he actually had to play some running back with the injuries in spring, but he's a 265, kind of a shorter tight end that kind of fits the mold. And again, like I say, we're looking at DJ Watson, Carl Watson, based on how he says it or we say it, is a linebacker that's 235, 40 pounds that we've kind of taken from the middle linebacker spot and got him playing fullback right now. But again, we ran no fullback plays yesterday, so we didn't have on pads. Now, Wednesday when the shoulder pads come on, then we'll start looking at some 2-back things. Again, short term because of one practice and shoot yesterday. We had a few hours still wrapping up summer school. So, but I do think our seniors in general have a better look about them, and I think they're embracing the values. This is their last go, and they need to pick it up for us. And we challenged them in the spring a couple times. It seems like, from things they want to say that they tried to in the summer. But we'll see as we get going, as we progress. Again, Jeff Thomas and Leon Beckham on the same standard guys, but I think maybe we can start to see maybe a couple of the O-line guys or a couple of the defensive end or secondary guys kind of step up for us as well. I don't know. I mean, he's a good player, and I think he's working hard, and I think he's a guy, when we talked to the other day, I think he went from like 204 pounds at 12% fat to like 211 at 6%. So he gained some weight and lost some fat. So I think he's working hard, and he's learned how to be a great blocker and play without the ball. But I tell you, I like a lot of those. I mean, Jamon Chester's has some physical skill set that should be well. DeWeese and Kofi and a couple of these young freshmen with Shane Wynn, Cody Latimer, Jay McCants. That's going to be a good group, and that's going to really help him. I mean, there's some times yesterday where I don't know if you'd pick him out as being no disrespect to him because he's going to be one of our best players. I don't know if you'd say he was the best receiver on the field at certain times because the other guys are picking their play up. That's a good group for us. But he needs to have a great year. I don't have a goal of getting him 40 or 80 or 100 catches. It just kind of plays out as you get going. Again, I think it's different in this day and age. We had everybody here this summer. All the freshmen showed up July 17. And I think, we don't have the JV team. We don't have the freshman team. When you don't play, as hard as we work them, they get burned out. I think competition's greater when guys are playing. I think they do better in school. I think they do better in the off season. I think they special teams, depth. I think it's better for everyone. If a guy's not ready to play, we're not going to. We haven't promised in the recruiting process. We promise good people in the locker room and academic support as good as we can be. And when we practice hard. Those are the promises that are made. We don't promise positions and jersey numbers and playing time. You earn that. But I'd like to see some of those guys, and whether it be as many as 8, 10, 12, 14, they'll determine that as we go. I think that's, though, again, two groups of practicing. They were practicing yesterday. I mean, Trey Roberson took 60, 70 snaps yesterday. And that's how you learn how to play, not stand around waiting your turn. Now you guys don't get a chance to talk to him because I'm not going to have a freshman talk until he plays. So the guys that you can talk to are the guys that have earned the right to represent our program. And as a senior, it would make me mad if a freshman came in and could talk. You know what I'm saying? So until he makes a tackle, catches a ball, and makes a block, so after Ball State game, you can have the opportunity to visit with freshmen that play. We're not sheltering them, but out of respect to our seniors and our leaders, the freshmen earn the right to play, and then they earn the right to get in front of you guys. What else? Well, and again, we had one, initially when we got it changed. Now we've had, as we went through wrapping up spring, we've got an injury for Ralston Evans who messed up a knee, and he's got surgery scheduled, so and that's unfortunate because he did great for him as a high school guy. He did as well for an early high school lineman as I ever saw, as far as just competing and coming to practice every day and having a good attitude and whatnot. There's not been defections as much as mutual, based on team rules, doing things right. Do we have a relationship that's going to work together? So a couple guys, we have one young man that's graduated, and he's got a job right now. He's got a diploma. He's an IU alum, and he's went on. He's working a job, and that was decided back in spring, at the end of spring, that he was going to move forward and not play. But again, not to talk about that because all of a sudden it's like we got issues. We just had a couple guys, whether it be, failure to follow team guidelines, rules, whatever. There's no major issues or nothing to discuss, but other than just, we've kind of moved in a direction where we've tried to help some guys maybe look at other options they have. And like I say, one issue or situation, a guy actually has graduated, so it's kind of a positive. He just went to the next chapter of his life. But again, we're sitting right now with 105 guys here, and that's our crowd that we got. I don't know, you got to give me that. Who are they? Help me out. Nick Zachary, Harrison Scott, Andre Cates, Colin Rocky, who's medical. Colin Rocky and Aaron Price are medical, still in school. Pat McShane and Chris Hager. And I don't know if there's any of the walk-on guys that didn't come back. I'm not aware of that. Oh, I mean, I just try to be honest, to my, whether it's to them or whatever, so, I mean, there's not an agenda, but I do think as a player, for me to tell them something, come in here and say something else to you, or for me to say something to one guy and not the other. We coach the best players the hardest and hold them to the highest standard. And the only way the players can respect is if you're just shooting them straight and working hard for them. So that's what we try to do. That's what I try to do. Try to embrace that to the staff. I think that's what they try to do. And I don't know if I think it's just Randy Walker was as honest and straightforward and straight shooters I've ever saw, and Coach Stoops, same qualities. And so I've been around that long enough. I just think that's the best way to operate your life, but then also try to operate it with your team. Yeah, he got ACL injury, so he'll be operated and miss. It's kind of, and again, he had a chance to be in the mix, but I do think, as far as the line will be okay. It's just a bummer. He'd been here, he graduated early, really had a good spring, had a really good workouts going, I guess, and then had an injury. So that's just one of those deals you kind of, unfortunately, because he probably would have been the 2 deep. Don't know if he'd have started, but he would have probably played a fair amount, and just kind of a bummer for him. He's off to over 3.0 GPA. He graduated early, shouldn't be here. He's got 21 hours. He's playing offensive line. He's holding up, doing well. And now, you're taking something that he loves away due to an injury, and he can't play. And if you're an athlete, I think that's frustrating. But he's got a great attitude. He's been pretty upbeat about his life, so he'll come through in a good way. I guess it's better to happen as a freshman than a senior. We'll look at it that way. No, it happened during the summer, during our workouts. It's humbling, a little scary sometimes, just because, like, what do you do? Or what, like I keep saying, I don't know what I'm supposed to do or what I'm supposed to say, or I'm now thinking about DBs when I just not worry about them. I had my little position on my side, and now you're overseeing more and all that. But at the same time, it's an unbelievable opportunity and challenge, and it's exciting too. So, I think I've had some great role models in how to keep things simple and keep grounded and keep working hard. And again, I try to do that as best I can. And I'm still, we all need to get better every day, and I'm the lead one getting better at everything we do. And so we'll keep working on that. But it's exciting, and it's an honor to be the head coach in Indiana. And like I said, since I've been here, we expect to do well and don't have a timeline. Other than we're trying to maintain a great attitude, great work ethic, and get it going every day in a strong way. Our staff's embracing that in a great way. I think our players are getting there. I'd like to see them keep coming. We can keep building momentum with those guys. Oh, you go to the weight room or you go to workout, you put it on, and yelling at practice is overrated for coaches because they don't listen to you anyway. So it's for us to sit there and visit with them. We get so much out of video, and we've kind of gotten into the more reps you get, the more physically you do, and then you correct on tape, correct in walkthroughs, correct in that format, that to sit up there and have some coaching clinics, not deal. Let them play through mistakes. The old Jack Nicklaus, learn how to hit it hard and far, and then learn how to clean it up and get it right. And so instead of granny gearing yesterday, I was like, here's Trey Roberson, and not that he did great or bad, but you're a quarterback, there's a lot going on, but just jump out there with the sharks and sink or swim. And I think that escalates the learning deal. So, but as far as the music, my favorite channel is Scan. I do like the 70s stuff because it's a little bit of my time. But I did go to a Seeger concert. It was cool. I got to go to Toby Keith, which was cool. So I like a little bit. I like Scan. But the great thing, and here's the diversity of our music. The greatest thing we got going is a team. And in my team, I got a boatload of religions and faiths, and I got a unbelievable, socioeconomic differences and races. But I got to get a group of guys pointing in one direction. And if the world was like a huddle and a bunch of guys from all over working together, we'd have a good deal. That being said, music's a part of that. So there's some rap going. I got a player to play for me. He's a Christian rapper, and I'm trying to get him in to get with my team one day. He's a Christian rap guy. But there was some country yesterday. I got to get an oldie song once in a while, so I don't go to sleep out there, and throw some old Boston or somebody out there just to pep me up. So, because my pregame music was the 8-track back in the day. Put it in, and that one Boston song between track 2 and 3 that stopped halfway through to the next track. So, anyway, is that good, guys? It is. Everything's important in what we're doing. To start, with getting a great group of staff or getting the right guys in the weight room, player development. I tell you, one of the best things we got going on, you need to check on time, is you need to get with our nutritionists and what's going on downstairs, how we're feeding our guys. Because there's no reason why we can't feed our athletes as well as anyone in the country. while we can academically support them as good as anyone in the country. So we can talk about what certain people have and what certain people don't have, but we can invest in what we're doing to develop our players. Recruiting's a big part of what we're doing, but recruiting sometimes it's hype, it's projection, it's hearsay, it's potential. All potential means you haven't done it yet. I think recruiting's going well on paper. It's early. We're working our state hard with 7 coaches in our state. We're not going to get every player from our state. We sure want to make it hard for them not to come. We're going to recruit a region. We got someone told me today that one of our trustees told me that half the population of the country is within 500 miles of where we're located. So we got an unbelievable population supply. Again, football in our state's picked up because of Peyton, the Colts, and the high school coaches and their programs. So recruiting, but we're not trying to be just a recruiting team. We're going to recruit great players, great students, great kids, but we're also going to try to develop our current team with good coaches, everything across the board. And I appreciate the administration has, I think, the same vision. And we got a lot of things going on with their support and their commitment to help the funding, again, of the nutritionists or our strength coaches or what we're doing in the academic center. So to me, I mean, it all comes together, and I don't think there's one piece of the pie that is the real deal is some of those small pieces of the pie make the real deal and get it finished and get you over the hump versus this one big chunk. Everybody's going to have a big chunk, but it's the small chunks, and I like some of the small things we got going on because winners do the little things. You guys good?